Hi Arctic Orienteers. This is the first video of a total of 4 videos that are going to show you how to use a more standardized system for editing our maps in the club. We're going to be needing to edit our maps because I think many of you know a lot of our maps are a little bit out of date and some of them are missing key data, especially trails that have popped up over the last few years. Now there's a plan to do large-scale updates for a bunch of maps, but it's going to take a long time before that happens. Luckily, cell phone technology allows us to easily collect data and then send it to the Vice President for mapping. This is going to make things a little bit more seamless than it was in the past, and it will eliminate all the little map scribbles that historically cartographers in the club have gotten to make updates to maps, which can be pretty difficult to interpret and sometimes aren't particularly accurate either. So this is just an introductory video. It will be followed by 3 more hands-on demonstrations of how the system is going to actually work. But I want to briefly review how it does work. It involves using an app that you put on your smartphone called Avenza Maps, and it's a free app. Once you get this app, you're going to need to obtain a zipped folder that contains the map that you want to do work on, along with some other files that are going to help you to use it in the Avenza Maps app. You then put it to a cloud storage system like Google Drive, and then you add it to your phone through the Avenza Map app. It's actually relatively simple to do. And again, there'll be a whole video that shows you how to do this that you can look at after this. Once you get out in the field, you can then start to collect data. And some of this might just be route setting data. You can use the Avenza Maps to double check the placement of your controls, and then you can also use it to add or correct features. Now, I think it's worth noting that while you might use it for route setting, you should be very careful that the maps sometimes are so inaccurate that where you are placed on the maps isn't really a great representation of where you actually are. So the control should be placed to the map as opposed to what it says on your phone the location might be. Just something to keep in mind. The data that you're going to collect will consist of place marks, which are point data, or lines or GPS tracks or a couple of other types of data that you can collect as well. You can make notes on the data that you collect that will help you to remember what they are, and then when you send them along for map editing, it will be relatively clear what I am supposed to do on the map or what someone else who's doing the cartography is supposed to do. It's really easy once you get out of the field to then download the data. You essentially email it to yourself in 2 different file forms. One is a KML file, which allows you to visualize the data on Google Earth and also lets the cartographer see any map notes that you might have added. And then you should also send it along as a GPX file, which is really easy to use on the free software we're now using to make our maps called Open Orienteering Mapper. So you send both of these files along with any notes that you have, and then permanent changes can be made on the map. So thanks a lot. I hope that the following videos are clear. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me and I can clarify, and I'm also available to help give you a little bit of training if you want to work on this.